Hey you guys, it's Henry Appleseed, and today I'm going to be showing you how I installed OS X 10.10 Yosemite on my Hackintosh G5. So let's get started. Okay, so first you're going to go to my link down below. It's the first link, and it's a guide to install Yosemite on the Hackintosh. It goes to Nairsh.com. Sorry, I do not know how to pronounce that, but it has links to the developer 1 and 2 previews, as well as kernel extensions that you can download, and MacPwn for developer previews, which is the application we'll be using for making our USB install. And so these will all go to your downloads folder. So you just want to make sure you download MacPwn and the developer preview you want. And so then first thing we want to do is we want to format our USB drive. So mine is MacPwn right there, but we will want to find disk utility, which is in the utilities folder in your applications, and we'll want to select our USB drive right here in the list. And so once we've selected that, we want to go to partition and open that up. Then go to partitions, say one partition, then format, and format it to Mac OS X extended journaled. And then we'll want to name it to whatever you want. Mine will be named MacPwn. Go down to options and select guide partition table and click OK. And then just click apply. I won't be because I've already made mine. But so you'll want to X out of disk utility. And now we want to locate our 10.10 developer preview, and the developer preview 2 needs to be moved to your applications folder, and it needs to be called exactly what you see on the screen, and then name it .app. Make sure it looks exactly like that. Install OS X 10.10 developer preview, then X out of that, open MacPwn, right click it, click continue, then click change the install because we do not want it to install to your hard drive. Click customize, and you can choose which bootloader you want. I will be using clover.uefie or whatever, however you say it. And before you click install, you want to make sure you select my graphics is not supported / not sure install, because we can decide on whether you want that later. Put in your password as you see here, and then just let it run. It'll take a little while. Okay, so now that you've powered off your computer, you're just going to click the power button and then click the F12 button over and over. Just spam it, or whatever key opens up the boot menu. And so then you'll move down and select your thumb drive. And so I'm going to click enter, and then you should see this, and it is a modified version of Clover by Nairsh. And so you're just going to boot from your USB drive, click enter. Okay, so now that we're in the install, we can just go down, and as you can see, my mouse is extremely laggy. Like, I can't exaggerate how laggy this is. You may not be able to see it, but that means my graphics are not working properly. And so as you can see it, the moving letters kind of stutter. So if your machine is doing the same thing that mine is right now, we will be changing the install options. And so you'll select your device you want to install to. Mine is the external OS X partition, and then you want to click customize down below. And this has a bunch of stuff down here. It has Clover standard bootloader, Clover UEFI bootloader. And so the most important one you want to pay attention to is my graphics is not supported / unsure right here. Right there. I don't know if you can see that, but you want to unselect that one. click accept, and then click continue. And as you can see, it'll just start installing. Okay, so now it is about to reboot. Okay, so this might take a while. And then it should boot into the menu you saw before, but this time the installed hard drive will be in the selection and you can navigate to that and boot to that. Okay, so it's starting to boot up again. And so as you can see there, I have the recovery, boot from recovery, MacPwn installer, and then I also have my OS X hard drive right there. And so you can just click enter, and then it should boot up properly if you did everything right, which I'm hoping I did right now. Okay, so now it looks like we have encountered the same problem I had last time, and this will obviously depend on your setup, but I have a cinema display that I plug in through the display port on my Hackintosh, and so as you can see here, it displays a black screen, but over here, as you can see, it has the install background, and that's because for some reason my display port has trouble on my computer. And so I'll try to figure that out later. But right now I'll unplug the cinema display and switch over to my secondary monitor. Okay, so now that we're on my second monitor, we can just continue the installation like usual, the setup. So now your Mac should set up. Oh, here comes the wallpaper. And it looks like oh yeah. First I thought we were in safe mode. Just waiting for that dock to kick in. Oh, there it is. Looks like we're missing an icon. Our mail is missing. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this worked for me last time on the developer preview 1. It only worked on the Dell monitor like it does now. But when I plugged in the cinema display, it detected it, and then when I put the computer to sleep and then woke it back up, it actually woke up this display and it started working. Okay, so now I want to do an overview and what my first impressions are with installing Yosemite on a Hackintosh. And the first thing I want to say is this is actually the best operating system that's fit on my personal build. Now, why I say that is there's a lot of plug-and-play things. And so, obviously, my monitor is giving me some trouble right now, but I hope as soon as there's more support for the Hackintosh that won't be a problem. And as I showed you, I could just fix it. But one thing that worked that I was surprised at first was when I opened up Safari and went to a website, boom, it just works. And obviously I have my Wi-Fi up there, you can see that, but I have that turned off, and my Ethernet port worked beautifully. I didn't have to do anything, I didn't install anything. When I had Mavericks, I had to install, a patch for that using Unibeast. Not Unibeast, but Multibeast. And so that's just plug and play. Another great thing is Messages works. And I know I can't exactly display it now because I haven't signed in yet. Actually, what the hell. Let's just sign in. And so when we sign in using my account, let's see what happens. Loading, loading, loading. Boom! It works. So just click done. And there we go. Okay, so now that I've signed in, and as you can see it's working fine, I'll just send myself a little message. Hello, spelled with one L. And as you can see, I sent it, and it was delivered, and then when I click here, allow, boom. See? It's sent, and yeah, that's really great, because you have to do a bunch of hacks to get this to work on Mavericks, and it depends on what kind of build you have. For me, mine works perfectly out of the box, plug and play. And so that makes me really happy. So yeah, that's something. Also, something that works out of the box is I recently tried the App Store, and the App Store works out of the box. Another great feature. I don't know if that makes a difference for you, but it definitely does for me because I have a couple applications that I can't download off the internet, and I have to go through the App Store personally, and so that's great for me. Another great thing is when I go to About This Mac on Mavericks, let me just zoom in for a second. On Mavericks, it would detect my machine with a 3.8 gigahertz i5, when this itself is a 3.4 gigahertz i5, because it's the 4670K. And so it actually didn't overclock to 3.8 like I thought it did when it was running the operating system, but the machine detected it wrong, and as you can see now, it detects it correctly at 3.39, which is 3.4 in other words. Another great thing is it detects my 4600 graphics perfectly without, labeling it wrong or anything. Displays, you can see, works beautifully. Storage, there we go. And so, yeah, really, really great. I'm really happy, you guys. And I definitely recommend this if you have a USB hard drive or a separate partition just laying around, because it really is kind of cool to see stuff before, obviously it's released to us. And so, stay tuned, you guys. I'm going to be posting a lot more of this stuff. Once again, I'm really happy to see Developer 2 working perfectly on my Hackintosh, and I hope it works for you guys too. So, this has been Henry Appleseed. Peace out.